Wikileaks founder Julian Assange should be allowed to walk free and be compensated for his deprivation of liberty, a UN legal panel has found. Mr Assange, 44, who faces extradition to Sweden over a rape claim, which he denies, claimed asylum in London's Ecuadorean embassy in 2012. He has been arbitrarily detained since his arrest in 2010, the panel said. The UK Foreign Office said the report changes nothing and it will formally contest the working group's opinion. Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond said the panel's opinion was ridiculous and Mr Assange was a fugitive from justice. The Met Police said it will make every effort to arrest Mr Assange should he leave the embassy. The panel's ruling is not legally binding in the UK and a European Arrest Warrant remains in place, meaning the UK continues to have a legal obligation to extradite Mr Assange. The UN's Working Group on Arbitrary Detention insisted Mr Assange's detention should be brought to an end, that his physical integrity and freedom of movement be respected. Mr Assange should be afforded the right to compensation, it added. The WikiLeaks founder had been subjected to different forms of deprivation of liberty, it said, initially while he was held in isolation at London's Wandsworth prison for 10 days in 2010. The deprivation had been continuous since he was first arrested in the UK on December 7, 2010. Lack of diligence. The panel said he had then been under house arrest and then confinement while inside the Ecuadorian embassy. It also found a lack of diligence by the Swedish prosecutor's office in its investigations, which resulted in his lengthy loss of liberty. 3 members of the 5-person panel found in Mr Assange's favour, while one rejected his claim and another did not take part in the investigation. Mr Assange was originally arrested in London in 2010 under a European Arrest Warrant issued by Sweden over rape and sexual assault claims. In 2012, while on bail, he claimed asylum inside the Ecuadorian embassy in Knightsbridge after the UK Supreme Court had ruled the extradition against him could go ahead. In the statement, published by WikiLeaks on Thursday, Mr Assange said, "Should the UN announce tomorrow that I have lost my case against the United Kingdom and Sweden, I shall exit the embassy at noon on Friday to accept arrest by British police as there is no meaningful prospect of further appeal. However, should I prevail and the state parties be found to have acted unlawfully, I expect the immediate return of my passport and the termination of further attempts to arrest me." Swedish prosecutors dropped 2 sex assault claims against Mr Assange last year. However, he still faces the more serious accusation of rape. Last October, Scotland Yard said it would no longer station officers outside the Ecuador embassy following an operation which it said had cost £12.6 million. But it said a number of overt and covert tactics to arrest him would still be deployed.